Contrary to popular belief, I was actually not always a health-obsessed nerd. Yes, I had little spurts of inspiration, motivation from different healthy lifestyle practices and implementations, but I'm going to talk to you this week about why that was not always the case. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast, where each week I will be discussing all things fasting and how it can become the most valuable tool in your personal toolkit so that you can live a long, healthy, and meaningful life. I'm your host, Vicki Sharon, and thank you for joining me.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
So yeah, there have been many fads in my life and prior experience, especially pertaining to losing weight, that have come and gone, that have increased in popularity and notoriety. And when movies or books or people's talks or lectures come out, folks get really excited about them, and then they kind of dissipate and fade away unless it is something that you've already been implementing. You know, side note, juice fasting or different types of keto, I remember doing also with the program that I was affiliated with, and these kind of fad-like things that would come and go. And while I was absolutely one of them, because I implemented the partial meal replacement weight loss program, I did a lot of juicing with my husband. We bought tons of produce, and yes, I'm not going to knock the validity and effectiveness of either one of those, but is that something that I wanted to do exclusively long term? No. Do they both have the ability to have, blips of presence and value in the long-term scheme of health and wellness? Absolutely. But in my willful determination of focused, dedicated weight loss efforts, I knew, because of my nerdy kind of mindset, I love information. I love getting excited about and finding out about the nuances of everyday life. And I also knew that even though at the beginning I didn't know very much about fasting, and that hunger and desire to learn more as time went on, I kind of adopted the mindset of fake it till you make it, and just doing the simplest, most basic form of this process as possible was enough for me. I knew that I didn't need to have everything all figured out right from the beginning, and that was totally fine with me. I got excited about discovering more and more about what this journey, what this lifestyle looked like. And I think, honestly, side note, I think it was hearing it from a video or a lecture or something from Dr. Jason Fung, where he mentioned about fasting being a lifestyle and having, I think he even mentioned fasting focused lifestyle very early on. And I if I were to guess timeline wise, I started in August of 2018, and I probably heard it around September, October, and I thought, that's it. That's exactly it. And I knew that this was more than just weight loss. I knew that this was something that had the power and potential to influence positively so many other aspects of my entire life. And y'all, it has. If you know, you know. So as time went on, I continued to find that I wanted to get to know myself and my body more and more through this process. And if you've seen those images, and I think they're tied to many other different weight loss methods, but for fasting, it's honestly most relevant for me. This image of a male and female chipping away their exterior heavy body weight, right? So inside, obviously, like I don't expect or resonate with the perfect chiseled body underneath. But hypothetically, you think about like how much of this process is this slow chipping away over time. And, stone carving in itself, in this image, stone carving in itself is not something that is very quick. And really, I think that's why it ties so closely to fasting, is that it is a slow chipping it away little bit at a time, and having that self-love and compassion for every swing of that hammer, for every piece that falls away and accumulates on the floor. How much excitement you have going into that next swing and then that next swing, and to continue to see and excited and be present for every little fleck of that stone that falls away as you're chiseling through all that negativity that you previously held onto and identified with as you, that you're revamping you 2.0. You are uncovering through this fasting focused lifestyle. You are uncovering you 2.0. And that was so exciting to me. I got so fired up the more I learned about this journey. I remember so many times in times of extended fast that I would just close myself up in my room, put on YouTube and watch all these additional videos, these educational, inspiring, inspirational, motivational videos that talked about, effects of fasting and fasting, intermittent fasting and breaking your fast and side effects and all those little nuances that many of y'all, like, hopefully this is not you, but I've seen it, that we get so hung up on with, is this food going to break my fast? Or, oh my gosh, should I be exercising? Should I be doing this? Do I need to eat keto? Am I eating? There's so much static judgment noise from conventional weight loss methods that are out there, that this excitement for this lifestyle, for this healing modality that our body wants to utilize, that knows how to utilize, is so exciting. Like, have you ever stopped to think about how incredible your body is, and that it knows and wants to, it's ready to be in a fasted state? There's no inner set of police that's going to tell you, oh, you need to measure this, or you need to make sure you're not, don't put cream in your coffee, you're going to break your fast, or, oh, this drink has X amount of calories. We get so hung up on all these little fine details that we allow them to deter us from what our long-term goals are. And in this journey with fasting, you zoom out. At least I remember so often that when I would find myself getting hung up on so many tiny, insignificant details, that I would just pump the mental brakes. And I would say, in the grand scheme of things, what is this going to teach me? Is this going to benefit me, or is this going to hold me back? Is this something that I need? Is this something that's going to pacify this temporary thought, feeling, emotion? Is this something that's contributing to my long-term success? Like I mentioned before, I loved through this process and discovery of myself, of uncovering me 2.0. I loved so much, still do. I love pushing myself into longer, harder fasts. I loved pushing myself and challenging myself to get into these harder, longer fasts. And I do not mean jumping into a full 24-hour fast as a beginner. What I mean by that is the way that I started out with 16-8, adjusting that the next week, or I'm sorry, the 2 weeks after, or whatever it was, in the grand scheme of things, I enjoyed challenging myself from that starting point of 16-8, bumping it up to 18-6, and really being present, feeling, every thought, sitting beside myself, with myself, and taking acknowledgement for how that feels. Is it bringing me benefit? Is this too hard? Should I increase the intensity? Because I remember very vividly, this is where I took, notes and stuff on myself. I remember very vividly my first week, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16-8, 16- with just implementing the 16-8. And I didn't change really anything of what I was eating. I think I may have just obviously I wasn't hitting the drive-thru every day, but I was mindful in starting to make those food choices, but it was not a focus that I needed to obsess about. But I knew after that first week, I knew that I would not stay at 16-8 because to me, it felt way too easy. It felt like I had the potential to mess this up. So I knew I needed to be harder on myself. So I'm going to challenge you. Think about how you can keep yourself accountable. Do you keep yourself accountable? That sounded goofy. Do you keep yourself accountable? You should. You absolutely should. But I tell you, you should do this in the most compassionate, supportive, kind, and patient way. Taking that personal inventory and accountability every single day is so important on this journey. This gets you even more present and appreciative of your journey as you go along. Because I know I had mistreated my body for so long. I made sure that I had absolutely no stopwatch time clock that decided how long my journey was. And I knew that my behavior and habits for my entire life leading up until coming into fasting was so long. And I knew that was not something that I could undo in a year or less. I knew that it had to be a very slow, mindful, deliberate, time-intensive kind of journey. And I was okay with that. And my hope is that you have that same assignment of feeling and sentiment towards your journey. But like I said, the further along I got, the more that curiosity grew. The more I got excited for learning about how the body works, what goes on while you're in a fasted state. And all those little nuances were details and little components of my journey that I got curious and excited about, instead of something that I hyperfixated on and was super judgmental towards myself. I removed so much judgment and societal expectations from myself on this journey that my hope is that you have the same for yourself, and knowing and remembering how incredibly capable your body is and ready and willing that it is to allow those balances to happen. And who knows, you could also be a closeted health-obsessed nerd just like I am. And I would love to hear about it. If that's you, reach out to me. This feverish determination that I have for implementation of this life has only continued to grow and evolve over time, because these ripple effects, while they started small, just a couple weak ripples in the water at the beginning, the changes that continue to manifest because of the lifestyle that I've implemented for myself solidify, at least in my mind, hopefully for you too, they really reaffirm that this is the right path. This is the right choice. This is what my body knows, loves, wants, craves. So yes, while it may feel a little bit weird at first because we're conditioned to believe that the weight loss process is an external kind of journey, that we're compartments and we have to shed these little, parts of our body, when this restoration of the mind-body connection that happens on this journey, hopefully that gets you just as excited as I was and still am about this way of life and the implementation and importance of integrating fasting into your life for the rest of your life. Because I know that you can do this. I truly believe in you. You listening to this right now, I'm giving you a really big virtual hug. Know that you can do this. Get excited about this lifestyle. Your body is ready to restore those balances, and know that you can do this, because I believe in you, even if you don't. And if you are in need of supportive coaching on your fasting journey, I'd love to be that support coach for you. TheFastingFocusedLifestyle.com has my calendar and more And if you liked this podcast episode, consider leaving me a review. Or if you have additional questions or topics you'd like me to address on future episodes, please reach out to Vicki, VICKI, at thefastingfocusedlifestyle.com. I'm going to give you another big virtual hug because I know I need it. And please take care of yourself. Until next time, thanks. The Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast. Copyright 2023. The information given within this podcast is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult your doctor before starting any weight loss method. Thank you.